Okay, so I'm out here cleaning up before I start on the exhaust, and I just wanted to talk about the master here, just because some people ask some questions, and also this is a major challenge, right? So the control block here for your start switch, your kill switch, is usually over here, and the lever's on the other side. That's how most people run it. The problem I was having is that on the Brembo, the lever hits the throttle, and I could drill another hole and maybe turn the throttle up, kind of like how the Motion Pro runs. That's maybe one way, but honestly, because of where the lever lands on the bar, especially when I hadn't put brake fluid in yet, of course the lever can go all the way. It never could get to the bar. It was always hitting this, the throttle mechanism, the housing, before it would ever get to the bar. I probably had about an inch. Now you could argue that, once you bleed, the bar's never going to get there anyways, but I just kind of felt like if for some unholy reason I ever had fade or a loss of pressure or whatever, I want to be able to have the full travel all the way to the bar. So the only way to make that happen was to grind off the pin on this, and I really don't care because eventually I'm gonna put the button pod on. I would never grind the pin on the throttle because obviously it's holding your handlebar on, and you can't have that happen. So this is a non-negotiable thing, but as far as the little kill switch, in my opinion, it can go anywhere. So I found that by flipping these two, I was able to get the lever to go all the way to the bar and not ever touch the throttle housing, and so that worked out pretty well. The only challenge now is where this brake lever guard and this thing meet, so they touch. If I put them side by side, they touch. So I'm probably going to need a different brake lever guard to make this happen. These Evol ones, they look nice, right? But they're plastic. They're plastic. There's nothing special about them, and the paint that's on the plastic just wears right off. So I mean, man, I got to start selling things for over $100 that are just made out of a piece of plastic. Jesus. But maybe the Woodcraft one would work or something else. But these angle in a bit from the bar angle, and there doesn't appear to be, no matter what I did for how it's mounted, it didn't really help. So I may end up ditching this. I could put it down and still meet the requirements for racing to have the brake lever guard, but this just isn't. I mean, you don't want anything that's ever going to touch your lever, right? So this is just not going to work for me. It's going to end up going away. The other question I got was, did you have to use any adapter with the RCS to go with aftermarket hoses? And the answer is no. And the reason is, this is one of the reasons why I went with these Fren Tubo lines, is that the banjo ends on the lines actually swivel, and this is a titanium fine thread banjo bolt from Curvy Girl. Works great. I bought a bunch of them. Turns out that only the only the Brembo uses fine thread. Everything else on the bike, the banjos everywhere else, are all coarse thread. So if you intend to get a bunch of titanium banjos, just keep that in mind. For now, I have the aluminum banjos that came with the lines. They're super light. There's really not much, if any, difference in weight between these and the Curvy Girl ones. But you may want to get a bunch of those on your own from Curvy Girl. Let me see if I have one sitting here I can show you. Got crap everywhere. I still need to clean up out here. Yeah, here we go. So here's the Fren Tubo one that's aluminum, real nice. This is coarse thread, comes with the line kit. This is what the Curvy Girl one looks like, all titanium, dished out on the end, drilled, super sweet. I bought 4 of these. I really only needed one because the only thing that's fine thread is the Brembo RCS, right, or 1918. So keep that in mind if you get the banjo bolts or whatever. But this is how I made it work. Now, I did buy the small reservoir. All my bikes in the past, I've had super bikes in the past, they've all had the small reservoir. But after bleeding this whole system and putting these new lines in. There's so much, you know, linked to these lines and everything in the pump itself that I just thought to myself, you know, if anything ever goes wrong and the system needs more fluid or whatever, I don't want to be limited to the small reservoir. And I actually went back to the stock one. And I just did that for safety, to be honest with you. I really think in the end, it's the best way to go. Some of the mounting options block the dash. I didn't want to mess with having a problem with that either, and not being able to see the fuel light, But that's why I went back to the stock reservoir. I've got a really nice small one with a Woodcraft mount, and with changing these things around, there's just no way to get it on there. There was a way, I could get enough room, but as you can see, it's not going to be high enough to, get the gravity for the master cylinder. So I'd have to make a custom bracket up top here to make it work. And in the end, it was just, I wanted the look of this, but it's a safety we're talking about. So who cares about how it looks? And that's why I went back to the stock one. But I'm happy with how that turned out. This is the Tygon tubing from Curvy Girl, and I should have ordered extra of it, because if you pull on it real hard, like you're trying to pull the Tygon off of the nipples on these things, it actually stretches and becomes useless, right? So it's almost better to just get extra, and I would definitely double what I ordered and get a couple of feet of it instead of just 1 foot, because I just had enough when it was all said and done. So I also did the reservoir delete back here, and I got the true Honda cap, which is a Honda part number. I have extras of those too, but it cleans up the look a little bit and saves a little bit of weight. Who cares? It's less than a hamburger. But yeah, if you're curious about changing your lines, these are super, super lightweight. They're much lighter than going with like Coromoto, which I think I was told they're made in China, the Coromotos, and it didn't make sense to take off stainless lines and replace them with other stainless lines that I have a question about, and the only reason to do it is to change colors, right? So for me, that didn't make any sense, and I wanted to have swivel ends here so that I never had to worry about putting an adapter in to be able to use the Brembo RCS. So front to back, that's my whole story on, why I chose these lines, and I'm real happy with them. The only thing I think I still need to probably do is go back to Curvy Girl and get some coarse thread titanium banjos and just replace all of them everywhere. There's, you have 2 up front, you've got 2 under the gas tank here, those 2, and then of course the one back here, and the one right here. So that's, it's a lot, right? That's 6 more banjo bolts. So 6 on the bike, and then 1 up at the master. That's the fine thread one, and you're good to go.